everyone. This is Cheryl Singh, AIR 31, UPSC CAPF 2019. Today, we have a very special guest, as all of you can see with us on our channel, Assistant Commandant Monica Salve, ma'am, from the 47th Dagos Batch CRPF, serving in CRPF since 2015. Welcome, ma'am, on our channel.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today. It's really a great privilege and pleasure to have a serving officer to share her experiences with us. And that too, you look amazing in the uniform that you're wearing right now.
Thank you so much.
Monica Salve, ma'am, took her first posting in 2015th Battalion in Jamui, Bihar, which was an extremely Naxal-affected district. She was a part of various anti-Naxal operations and CBMs among tribals, especially women and children in that area. She then served on election duty in Kerala Assembly elections 2018 and also Lok Sabha elections 2019. She then proceeded to Poonch district and is currently serving in Srinagar. And due to that, we might have slight network issues with that, but that doesn't bar us from moving ahead. So, ma'am, having been served in so many different terrains, how did the training build you up for that? And what was it like? And how did you finally feel when you got your 3 stars?
Yeah, it was really an awesome experience. Like when I was preparing, I'm completely unaware of what CRPF was doing. But once I joined the training and I enjoyed the training a lot, even the CIT course we say, that is counterinsurgency and anti-terrorism course is there. That too I enjoyed a lot. And it was all molding from a civilian life to a force life. And the journey of training was really very marvelous and very adventurous, I can see.
So, ma'am, what all things are very particular during the training time that some of your experiences that you would like to recall?
Yeah, the things are, many things are there, like, but the most important thing is the jungle survival, where we learn the basic tactics, then also the riot control drill, where we understand how to control the mob. There are various practices, and CRPF really provides excellent training to their officers.
Ma'am, since CRPF is such an organization which has so many different kinds of roles, would you like to throw some light on CRPF as an organization and its role in the internal security of India? And also, how has it changed from when it started and the situation that it is in now?
Yeah, as a country, it's the CRPF was established in 1939. After that, in 1949, we had the CRPF Act 1949. CRPF has been comes under the Ministry of Home Affairs. Since then, whatever the challenges the country has faced in handling the internal security issues, CRPF has withstand all those challenges, and it's actually the backbone of the country to handle the internal security issues. Especially, we have mainly 3 theaters, that is anti-Naxal area, that is LW affected area, we said left-wing extremist affected area, then the terrorist affected area, the JNK theater, and the Northeast theater, where we deal with the insurgents there. So in all these fronts, CRPF is really doing a great job. And in spite of that, there is the election duties, which is the prime responsibility of the Central Paramilitary Forces, in which CRPF plays a very major role. Then is the Amarnath Yatra duty. Every year we do, just for the past 2 years due to COVID, Amarnath Yatra has not been there. But since years, every year, everything, the logistics supports, the security issues for the Amarnath Yatra route, CRPF plays a greater role in it. In spite of that, the country has faced various challenges in internal security during the riots. Even during COVID in Maharashtra, CRPF was deployed there because the Maharashtra police were highly affected due to COVID. And since then, CRPF played a role there and was deployed in Mumbai also during the COVID times. So for major issues, when it is the internal security threats which the country is facing, CRPF mainly plays a greater role, and it's a proud thing for us that yes, for the government, CRPF is an answer for all the anti-social things which are happening in the country.
Indeed, ma'am, we are all proud of the organization that CRPF is. Out of all these theaters and also the postings that you have served on, Which, in your own personal experience, has been the most challenging or memorable one?
Challenges are everywhere there. Even when you go to the LW areas, there are issues concerning being a lady officer also. That people are initially people are skeptical whether we are able to shoulder all the responsibilities, whether we will be able to do the search operations, the coordinate search operations, or raid operation or ambush. They are skeptical that whether they should shoulder those responsibilities to us. But once that bar has been raised now, all the lady officers who are posted in Naxal affected area, they are really doing a great job, and all kinds of challenges are there. Yes, being a lady officer, there are different challenges, staying there in jungle for a longer time. But the training which are imparted to us help us in handling all such issues.
All right, ma'am. And we've heard about CRPF's initiative on suicide prevention and mental health in Jammu and Kashmir. Would you enlighten us more about this initiative, and also why was the need felt to have such an initiative in the forces?
Yeah, I would like to say initially there was, when we say it, there was regimentation. Like even when a battalion the entire battalion used to move from here and there all over the country. For a particular time span, they would getting deployed in a particular theater, and after that, the entire battalion used to move. But since due to logistical and administrative issues, now the decision is being taken that the battalion would be stationed at a particular location and the Jawans will move on. Because of this, there are many issues which had happened. The sense of belonging and we can say like internal communication between the Jawans, that has gone down. There is a huge communication gap between them, and also understanding each other. They are into long distance relationship also. All these psychological effects, even working for in theaters like J&K or in a difficult areas like LW area for a longer time, and getting separated from the social their society or their culture, has an impact on their minds. So for this, the suicide prevention strategy, which was initially, it is a brainchild of Ms. Charu Sinha, IPS IG Srinagar sector. Initially, we started it in Bihar on a very lower scale, we can say. Then it was also done in Jammu sector when she was an IG there. And now in Srinagar sector, we have a wholesale plan for it. And in a phase-wise manner, we are undergoing training to our Jawans on mental health and gender conversations, where they are also able to understand their own mental health, their own emotions, thoughts, behavior, and everything. And when it comes to gender conversations, they're able to understand their partner in a well matured way and handle their long distance relationship. And it would really give a fruitful results once this is a 6 months long training. In 7 days training it is, but to cover the entire 22 battalions in Srinagar, it will take almost 6 months of time, and it will really give us fruits. Like last year, it's very sad to say that we have lost 65 Jawans due to suicides and fratricides. But this year, definitely the ratio will go down as per if I consider only Srinagar sector.
Okay, that's great news, ma'am. It's covering all the battalions seems like a humongous task, and we wish that it happens soon. I would like to ask you, how have the Jawans responded to this program so far? Are they taking it in something that's being imposed on them, or are they taking it in a very right spirit?
Yeah, that's really a fantastic question, Cheryl. Yeah, they are enjoying the training a lot. The entire training of 7 days course is basically designed. It's not like someone lecturer or the resource person is coming and the other persons are only listening to the resource persons or the lecturer. It's nothing like that. The Jawans are being trained as a trainer, and the entire 7 days course is of video discussions. It's about various activities. It's of their participation, role plays, and a lot of things are there. All the course has been designed by the Amrita Vishwa Vidyapeetham from Kerala. They have designed it specifically for the CRPF and for the forces, and the response is great of Jawans.
That's great news, ma'am. As I gather, you've served already 6 years as an assistant commandant now. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on career progression in CAPFs? And if you could throw some light on the impending cadre review of CAPFs that we are waiting for.
Yeah, right. Basically, the organization, we can say in any organization, reforms are must to help the organization grow in a better way. Yes, definitely. Even serving for 6 years, getting the senior time scale, we are not getting promoted. That's an issue. And the issue of cadre review is being taken care of. And the discussions are going on and the meetings are there. Here, I would like to project one thing. Like, once an officer gets a senior time scale, he should definitely get the rank of the senior time scale. The senior time scale, after getting, the rank should not get delayed. The appointments can be increased. So this is the prime concern of all the officers right now, because after serving for long years and not getting the rank, senior rank, that really is demotivating for most of the officers.
Yes.
So considering the career review, which is now it's on the table and it's very taken very seriously. So yeah, definitely we are looking after the, yes, we are very hopeful about the cadre review, that yes, all the officers would be getting, after completing a particular time period, they will get promoted to a senior rank. And also
how soon are you expecting it, and how desperately are you expecting it, and how shall we expect it? How much of it?
Yeah, we can say that within 1 year or 6 to 7 months, the cadre review meetings will be done and the good decisions will come out. And we all officers in the rank of assistant commandants who have served in my rank up till now for 5-6 years or more than that, they're very hopeful about it. Yeah.
Looks like great news. Ma'am, you've served since 2015, and we know CRPF already has a Mahila battalion, and there is a good strength of women officers as well as personnel in CRPF. How has your experience been as an officer, and how would you judge the experience of personnel in CRPF as lady personnel and lady officers?
Yeah, there are challenges for even lady officers and the lady personnel also. The Jawans or the sub-inspectors in SO's rank, they are facing a lot of challenges because they are coming from a very, we can say, an orthodox family background. So we need to impart training. Even the Mahila battalions, there are 2 Mahila companies here in Srinagar. So those ladies, even they are undergoing the gender conversations and mental health training. So there are changes that they need to better understand their own rights, their decisions and all. When it comes to organization, yes, the organization needs to form better policies for women employees. The decision has come. There is also a discussion going on that they would completely disband the Mahila battalions now, and nothing would be a concept like Mahila battalion. It would be only a battalion, and all the Mahila companies would be attached to any male GD battalion. So when it's coming to shouldering the responsibilities, even in Srinagar theatre, the Mahila companies is doing really great job. Right. So there should not be any difference, and we should not like the discussion is going on, and even they are going out with this move that now they will ban the Mahila battalions, and all the Mahila battalions, wherever the theatre they are working, it would be attached to the respective male GD unit in that theatre. So that would also help. The problem with Mahila battalion is the battalion headquarters is somewhere located in Gandhinagar, and the companies are there in Srinagar or in Delhi or somewhere other places. So logistical supplies or demands that are not fulfilled, and the Mahila companies are not being taken care of in a better way regarding the administration. But if wherever the company is posted there, if the company is posted there in Srinagar, so better it be attached to it would be functioning as a complete Mahila company into a male GD battalion. Right. The complete logistic support and everything would be provided in that theatre itself. So why do have a communication right from an headquarter which is situated far off in Gandhinagar, Gujarat?
Right.
So that's better.
So we are talking about organizational and logistical ease here. Am I getting it right?
Yeah, right. And even that the better policies were formed, even if a Mahilas, the female personnel, if they are able to get posted into a male GD battalion, so that is much better for them if the Mahila companies is an additional to all the male GD units into the male units. What the better thing would be here, like if a girl is from Jharkhand or Chhattisgarh or Bihar, So any male GD unit there, she would be able to get posting there in the male GD. Now, girl from a Bihar, she would never get posting into a Mahila company, which is there in Bihar.
Okay, okay.
Right. So that poses a dual challenge for them. Girls from Bihar or Jharkhand or Maharashtra or Kerala, they are working there in Srinagar. So for home
Right,
posting
right.
also and for the ease of their own career progress, it's better that we have a male Mahila company attached to all the male GD battalions.
Okay, that's a great step. Ma'am, and again, coming to the part of being a female officer, does it feel like that a female officer has to fight twice as much as the male officer to be at the same standing and to be not judged on you on your gender, based on your gender?
Basically, the organization is growing.
Mhm.
Like on the considering the gender conversations training part, basically the judgmental, yes, all officers, they are coming from various different backgrounds, so they are being judgmental towards the lady officers even when getting posted to here in Srinagar in this unit. There was some like we can say some mindset was there कि पता नहीं lady officer आएगी कैसे handle करेगी क्या होगा, what were the demands and all, but once they are able to handle or come under the मतलब command of a lady officer, they understand how to handle her, and even the lady officer understands. There are challenges for a lady officer. Yes, there is a more, yeah, we can say a different yardstick in which we have to prove our abilities wherever we go. Ki yes, we are on equal terms in shouldering the responsibilities with the male counterparts. So that challenge would always be there. Because if they consider us to be weak or they don't consider us to shoulder the equal responsibilities, that time we have to communicate to them, sir, I'm capable of handling all the responsibilities. Whatever responsibilities you are giving to a male officer, you can definitely give it to us. So the mindset is changing slowly. Yeah.
Right. And coming to the part of being judged, just to tell everyone out there, I think, would you focus on the part that how the training imparted is so equal and both the men and women are equally trained and capable?
Yes.
To handle any situation?
Yes, definitely. The training is imparted on equal terms with even in our batch we were 86 officers, 5 lady officers and 81 male officers, and everybody, there is no we can say discrimination or some kind of leniency given to any lady officer. We have been there with the jungle camp also. We have been into the jungle survival training with our male counterparts. So there is no kind of discrimination and we are able to handle all the responsibilities. Yeah.
That's okay. And ma'am, how has been your experience in commanding men versus commanding women? Is there a difference, or do the women personnel see you as an ideal or a great image or something?
Yeah, actually, I didn't get any time since last year also I was. This is my second unit. First also I was commanding a male unit, and just now women QAT is there in Srinagar. I came into contact with them. Even in the parade, I lead a Mahila contingent. So there I know, yes, there is definitely different challenges when handling a Mahila battalion or a Mahila company. Yes, because they have a lot of family issues are there. The organization is not having a better policy for them regarding their home posting or regarding their if they are having a child of 1 to 2 years. So being apart from the child, taking not able to take care of them or notwithstanding the expectations of their family members due to the job profile they are doing. So handling all those things, we need some better training, like just as gender and conversations and mental health, we require special focus on Mahila constables also. So there, because there is different challenges handling a Mahila company. That challenge we don't face in a male companies, right? Because if we say on a psychological aspect, they are a little bit emotionally strong, and
Yes.
they don't have much household responsibilities as the female has of bearing the child and everything. So there are different challenges.
All right, ma'am. And is the organization, are we expecting the organization to have reforms on card anytime soon?
Yeah, like the new officers are there, female officers. Whenever we get a time to raise our voices regarding the reforms needed in the Mahila companies or handling them or the logistical supports, yes, the young lady officer, they definitely raise their voice, and we expect a better reforms. And time will come, yes, organization will grow and will have some better policies.
We really hope so for the coming generations.
Yes.
I'm wearing the very amazingly smart uniform that you are wearing right now. How does it feel to walk out in the public and don the uniform?
Yeah, definitely.
Also, one more additional question I would like to ask. How did your family feel? Were they very supportive of the kind of job that you're going to get, which is obviously not a conventional job for anybody? How did your family feel or support you?
Yeah, means in that front, I'm very lucky. My mother, father, and all my family members are quite supportive for the job, because my father was also into police services there in Maharashtra. And now I'm married also. Even my in-laws are quite supportive for this job. They are being my strong support always. Yeah, and it's really proud feeling to wear the CRPF uniform. And even when we are there working out there outside for wherever the operational duties are, even in the Naxal affected area, yes, people look out for a lady officer in a different way. They feel proud. And here also in JNK, when we are there outside on duty and people when see a lady officer in a uniform, they have different view and different feelings for the lady officer. Yeah, they have a kind of proud feeling. Yeah.
I'm sure you inspire a great lot of women out there and men equally out in JNK, where I think we really need the youth to be inspired to join the forces, I think, to deal with the situation that's going on right now.
Yeah. All the lady officers
I believe
are really ideal in CRPF. They are really doing great job.
Ma'am, I believe that you are taking classes for the youth in JNK to help them pass the CRPF recruitment. Would you like to talk more about it?
Yeah, I got that golden opportunity to work there when I was in Poonch. A village from a village, 20 boys had passed out the physical test for the BSF exam, and they approached our senior officers there in Poonch for that. Somebody else would provide them coaching and all. So I got that opportunity to help them. For 2 months, I have regularly taken their classes on the entrance test. And out of those 20 boys, now 3 boys have joined the BSF as in constables. They have cleared gate.
That's great. That's great. You're really giving more of service than you are entitled to.
Yeah, even in Bihar, I got the opportunity. I was specially had a focus on girls' education there. So for that purpose, I used to take 9th and 10th science classes there in a girls' school.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Really, you are doing more service than your uniform entitles to. That's really selfless service that you are doing.
Yeah, thank you.
In terms of job satisfaction, ma'am, how would you rate your career so far and the service that you are doing?
Yeah, I'm 100% satisfied with my job. It's my second family, I say. When I say CRPF, it's my second family. When I take my corpsmen, I consider them as my family members. And definitely it's a second family because out of 12 months, we serve for 9.5 months here. And only 2.5 months, we are able to go on leave and spend time with our family. So overall development of the Jawans, of the organization, especially focus on the human resource. Even then in Bihar, I used to specially focus on the training of Jawans, on being them tech savvy, better them handle they are able to send mails to officers. And because of that, I love my job too much. And basically, CRPF really does a great job. We are able to serve in the civic action program is there. Through that, we provide a lot of facilities, a lot of things to the tribals there or the people affected there. Even during the COVID times, there were distribution of ration kits to the needy people. Even here in last few days back, we got a call from Madadgar. CRPF Madadgar works here in JNK Theatre. Like it's a helpline number for any medical need to the civilians. So CRPF Madhurgarh is really doing a great job. One of my batchmates, Junaid, is working for CRPF Madhurgarh, and we have provided a lot of medical assistance here for diabetes, for amputee legs, hands, to the needy people. So yes, I'm completely satisfied, Madhurgarh. I get a lot of opportunities to work for my people, for my country, and I'm really proud of my organization.
And you're doing a commendable job there. We really hope to fall into your footsteps and follow you. You really inspire a lot of us.
Thank you.
No. Is there a message that you would want to give to new recruits, the new officers that are coming in? Like, with what attitude or approach shall we go to the training and complete it? And what are the opportunities that lie ahead for a young person who is just starting their career as officers?
Yeah, when it comes to training, it's like you're being molded from a civilian life to a force life. So definitely, whatever the training is being imparted, how much hard the training is, how much punishments you get, you should definitely enjoy those punishments, and not at all judgmental about what is happening with you. Like, just take it as an opportunity. Whatever they do with you, they punish you, they give you a lot of times you're not able to sleep. There are some night drills also, and they just wanted to break your biological cycle and bring you out of that comfort zone. Like, one example I would like to say, like, once if there is a rainy season and you move out, and if rain starts and you get wet, when you come back, immediately your family members are completely towards caring towards you. They said, "Arey, baal poch lo, ya jaldi se change your clothes and all,
True,
because
that's
you'll
true.
fall sick and all." But when it comes to force life, like, even if it rains, even if there is a snowfall, even if there is a scorching heat, these things, the mental blockage of falling sick, that the blockage is being break down. That's completely break. Like, even if you get wet, you don't have that fear or that feeling that yes, you will fall sick. Yeah, whenever you go for an operations outside, there are many officers are working in LW area. During the rainy season, now it will start. Even during rainy season, they operate. Right? They go for search operations and all. Whenever they come back, like, everything is like shoes, everything gets wet, but there is nothing kind of uneasiness into it. So this uneasiness feeling which is being given up is just because of the training which is being imparted. So whatever happens with you, whatever the ustads or trainers say to you, and whatever the training is being, you just fully enjoy it, rather than being judgmental like ये हमसे क्यों कराया जा रहा है, वो हमसे क्यों कराया जा रहा है, because the whatever the training, even as Cheryl, you in ITBP now, got course allocated, even Mitesh has got BSF. Whatever the training is being imparted is for you to fit into that organization. What are the requirements of that organization? Like, when it comes to CRPF, yes, jungle survival plays a major role, riot control plays a major role, any situation, mob handling, everything plays a major role. So for that, the training is being imparted, and you should definitely learn and enjoy all those parts.
I think all this is all what it takes to have a strong soldier guarding our country.
Yes.
Ma'am, one last final question. What would you like to say to all the aspirants, all the young population of the country who want to serve the nation and who have the spirit in them to come out, crack as a soldier, yes, to crack the exam and serve their country? One final message for them.
Yes, the aspirants, also there is a lot of ups and downs. Like, last 2 years, COVID was really very challenging for the aspirants to keep their mental balance. So debarring these 2 years of COVID, like 2020 and 2021, whatever the focus is there should be there for the, even a particular aspirant want to serve in CRPF or BSF or any of the paramilitary forces. Yes, the job is challenging. I don't say it's an easy walk or a cakewalk. Yes, you have to go through a lot of different challenges, lot of things. Your family and personal life is also being compromised. But the main important thing is that, yes, you are not living a normal life. We are not a civilian. That, yes, family will go in hand in hand. Definitely, everybody's try to have a work-life balance, and everybody does it, and everybody survives. And in spite of all those challenges, one should enjoy. So for the new aspirants, I would like to say that you should give your 100% for what you're doing. And it's I don't say that it's easy to crack the civil services exams or the CAPF exam as an assistant commandant. Yes, it's challenging, but on a repeated preparation, not giving up for each and every attempt, giving your best shot is much important.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Definitely join once and serve like all we are doing right now for the country.
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your inspiring words. I really hope that a lot of us, the young officers, the new officers, and the aspirants will be inspired by your experience. It was so amazing to have your live experiences being shared with us on the channel. And actually, you were the first assistant commandant on our channel, which actually is the name of the channel. So it was a great opportunity and great experience talking with you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Yeah, I'm also thankful from the entire CRPF organization to all your team who has come with such a wonderful initiative of interviewing the officers, getting their experiences known, and also about the organization. It gives us a platform to express our feelings, how we work for the organization and the challenges we face. So I'm also thankful to all of you.
Thank you so much, ma'am.